Hey guys, good morning. Happy Thursday. I couldn't sleep last night. We're so excited. Team New Hope Regeneration in the car. We're getting ready to head to Zenith Jiu-Jitsu. Mr. Robert Drysdale. I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. It was like Christmas morning. So excited to get up and head to the academy today. We are going to get to go in and do some work. Team New Hope is going to train. We got Nathan. We got Nurse Amy in the back. Going to go spend some time with this master of mystery and jiu-jitsu. So we can't wait. We're going to have some great videos for you guys about our time with him this morning. Check us out. Good morning, Professor.
Come on, man.
Oh, so good to see you.
Very nice.
Thank you so
nice
for
to meet
having
you.
us. This is Josh, my content guy.
Nice to meet you.
This is my sister-in-law, Amy. She's one of our nurses. And then my brother, Nathan. He just retired 20 years in the Army and is now working with us.
All right.
Holy cow, this is a ton of mat space, man.
Hello, my name is Robert Drysdale. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Zenith Jiu-Jitsu by Robert Drysdale. I've been teaching in Las Vegas for going on 17 years now. This is my hometown. I have my kids here. This is where I teach daily. I teach class every morning, 10:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Gi and no gi, sometimes MMA as well. Anyone is in town, always welcome. Not very political when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Open door policy for anyone who wants to train.
Guys, is there anything specific you guys want to work? Normally when I teach, you know, it's your time, you're private. We can do something specific if you guys got quick questions. If you guys want to roll too. It's really 100% up to you guys what you guys want to do.
I would like to talk about frames on the no-gi side.
Okay.
That's something that I've been struggling with from not having any leverage. Half guard frames and then being able to get around some frames in the no-gi. Like I find when I'm doing some no-gi stuff, like I feel just like because I don't have any grips, and then trying to get around corners, and that's been something that I personally have been struggling with.
So let's talk about this with it. So what you're saying, frames is good, but so you see the differences in the dynamic and the how does the person decide if they're going to start, you know, because a lot of them are pulling guard now, and then the other person's going to have to pass and be the active person because they pulled. So it's kind of interesting. So from here, this perspective, you know, or here, how does the top person try and overcome that? Because a lot of guard players are really good, especially Elijah Carlton, and he's so flexible.
Especially like lightweights. And the thing is, like, especially if the mats get slippery enough, like you can't put pressure. You just slide out of the mat, right? It's not a small problem. So anyone with a good frame and like good flexibility and good hip movement is going to be hard to pass. Yeah. Right? So I got some tricks on how to beat the frames and how to pass. I got some things of my own that I use. And then we can do something from the bottom perspective too, how to improve on your frames.
Okay.
So yeah, so let's start with that. So let's start with the bottom, from the bottom person's perspective. So anytime you're in my guard, okay, so like on your knees, just for practice sake right now, okay? You're gonna have a few different ways I can play an open guard no-gi, right? I'm assuming I'm flat on my back. You know, people call it Z, I always called it knee shield, everyone always called it, now they call it Z guard. Yeah. If you wanna sell instructional, you gotta reinvent the wheel, rebrand the old, and just put a new label on it. It's brand new. It's like, no, this is older than walking forward, you know? But like, so this is one, the downside of this is not particularly right now I'm safe, but in an exchange, my left foot could be exposed. Okay, so like people play this, but it's something to keep in mind. To be completely safe, a lot of people will switch to a half butterfly. Okay. Which is simply someone new. This is not so common. Typically people play the butterfly here looking for overhooks. Yeah. Right? That's how I've always played it. But sometimes you modify to this right here. You keep your knee in the middle and you use this as a knee shield to create a barrier between me and him while still protecting my foot. Even though it's like, it can be a little bit of an awkward position. It's more of a defensive stance in my opinion. It's not an aggressive one. But if this knee is in the way, it's hard for him to get close. But one thing I'm always trying to prevent, if I'm the bottom, is I don't want him grabbing my head, I don't want him getting the underhook, and I don't want him flattening me out. Okay. Those are the three things he wants. If he gets 2 out of those 3, he wins. Okay. 3 out of those 3 fights, right? So if he tries to grab my head, try to grab my head. It's very easy for me to block because it's far away because he's still in my guard. Right. It's going to get harder once he gets closer to me, okay? So if he tries to grab my head, I'm always combing, what I call combing the hair, frame. Okay? If he tries to get that underhook, the underhook can be beaten with my left arm, with my left knee, with a little shrimping. Okay. So it's a little bit of everything. My left arm has to pommel. This right here maintains itself as a barrier. And sometimes all I got to do is move my butt back a little bit to create room for the underhook. 3, when he tries to lean on me and flatten me out, I don't let him. I stay on my side. I'm functional on my side.
Right.
Right? But if I start letting him flatten me out, now I'm dealing with gravity. And the thing about being flat on your back is like, let's say I do bench press you, right? Sure, I might be moving you a little bit, but I'm burning a lot of energy, a lot of oxygen, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really pushing myself against the ground.
Right.
So like, you see the problem? With if I'm on my side, so as simple as this concept is, this solves most guard problems you have ever had. Come down to you being on your side and shrimping. This is why shrimping is so fundamental. Like, oh, I know how to shrimp, but people don't know how to use it. They know how to shrimp, the warm up, but they don't know how to use it because like shrimping is like it's constant. And it's not always backwards. Sometimes it's forward. Right. Sometimes it's sideways. Sometimes it's the other side. But I'm constantly repositioning myself here to prevent him from getting an angle on me. Right. So I don't have. He has to lean heavy. He doesn't lean heavy. Okay. So let's address a different situation now. I'm assuming he's past my guard. Okay. One thing I'm doing is the closer he is, the less I'm using my hands. If he's out here and I want to use my hands to frame, that's perfectly fine. He's out here. That's the extension. But the closer he gets, the less this right here is going to work. You see how weak this is? Right. So what I'm doing is I'm going to start flaring my elbows a little bit, and I start using this as a shield. Okay. Like I'm spiking the throat and the upper half of the chest. Right. Like any part here of the chest, the throat, the face, the neck, like whatever. And I'm not necessarily hitting you, but I'm poking you. Right. And this prevents you from getting heavy. Right. And all the other principles are even more important now. I have to remain myself on my side. In fact, I don't even like 90 with the ground. I like slightly in. Slightly in. Seriously, I have a broad back, so if I go straight here and you lean on that shoulder, what's going to happen? I'm going to collapse, right? Yeah. So I have to like slightly turn my. You know the Philly shell that Mayweather does? Yeah. Where he boxes like this? Right. Almost the same thing. Okay. So I'm rolling my shoulder over, and I'm like, and I'm actually more functional because you can't really flatten me out. I'm slightly inwards. Right. Okay. And the entire time I'm windshield wiping my head. I don't let him grab my head. Okay. I'm not pushing. I am combing my hair and framing. So he can touch my head, but he can't control it. And my underhook is protected. There's no underhooking. So the second he gets to my side, okay, I'm on my side completely. Look, I'm creating a frame with the elbow. Try to grab my head there. Yes. Well, if you can touch the head, right? But you can't flatten me out with it, which is what you really want. So like you're gonna get frustrated there because that's not gonna be enough to get me down, right? Right. And then from this right here, if I'm losing this elbow fight, I can always just turn it into an underhook, right? So those options are all there. So the first thing we're gonna do is I want you guys developing the coordination to block, comb the hair. Okay. Forget pushing the hip. Waste of time. Yeah. Push the hip. It's gonna work with white belts. You get someone that knows how to move, knows how to use their weight. This push on the hip here is not going to work.
And that's what's been happening.
Everyone, right? It black belts do because it's an instinct. Yeah. The reason it's an instinct is because the most coordinated part of your body is what? Your hands, your arms, your hands. Right. So you want to use it for everything because it's the parts of your body you trust the most. The thing is, arms have limitations in jiu-jitsu. There's only so much they can do. Right. Easier than pushing would have been blocking and moving. But that is a coordination that is far less developed than the hands. This is why shrimping is so important. Yeah. So they have to be on par with your hands. Right. So let's try that really quick. Okay. So bottom person, just combing the hair. Make sure you're on your side. They're slightly inwards. Okay. And yes, you're gonna bring that knee up. We're gonna talk more about this left leg in a second because I'm gonna give you guys a lot of cool options. So the first one from guard, point that knee to the sky for me. Yes, so that's what we call a half butterfly, okay? So it's basically like you're using, like you were poking her with the elbow, and you're showing side control, now you're doing with the knee. Okay. Like you don't want her getting heavy because that knee is gonna be like in the way. She's annoyed by it. You wanna almost annoy her with that knee, okay? This is gonna flare just a little bit in case she tries to get to the head or the underhook there. This is good. Okay. Try to grab the head with this one. Palm all day. If you have to, look, you cannot afford to lose that fight, especially if she's close to side control. Right. So this is not an underhook fight you can lose. Right? Palm up for your life. If she did get close enough, you would turn into what I call a monkey grip, which is this right here. Okay. Okay. She's not close enough. She's most likely going to back out because she has not passed your legs yet. Right. If she's experienced, a beginner might try to grab your head there. Right. Right. Blue belt up. They didn't know to back out. Yeah. So this is your safe there. Now we would start talking about offense, which we can do next. But next, I want you to consider a situation where it's side control. It's actually harder. Okay, so move to side control. So this is where it starts getting tricky because now she's close enough to stop. Yes, but you're on your side, you're safe. This is perfect. This is perfect. Okay. Now, when she starts reaching for the head, I want you. Yes. Now, the ironic thing about this hand is the closer this wrist is to your forehead, the safer you are. Okay. But it's because you want to get her far away instinctively, right? Right. Yeah. But actually, it's actually worse because if you push, she pummels.
Right.
Push her. Let's say you push her away. Pummel with that arm on the inside. Like excuse me. Like, yes, and I'll grab the head. Right there. You see? Like,
So
she's
then we're fighting again.
And you're back to fighting.
Right.
So, yeah, so like keep this wrist on your forehead. I call it the unicorn.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, we're balanced. So it's like one kid, like, oh, like a unicorn. I'm like, okay, like a unicorn. All right, this right here. And then when you get tight on that head, try to get tight. Try to get tight. Here we go. It's okay. You feel your body flatten a little bit.
Right.
You feel that right there?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the end.
Right.
Now, the reason that's happening is because you're not shrimping.
Because I'm not shrimping.
That's where the shrimp comes in.
Okay.
But you're going to shrimp off your bottom leg, not the top leg. And you fixed it. Right. Do it again. Let's do 90 now.
Yeah.
I want you in the Philly shell. Perfect. Now it's harder for her to lean.
Right.
Because you're in the Philly shell. You're slightly inwards.
And that just little bit of movement already rotated my
That
body
little bit of movement
off of-
solves 90% of your problem.
Right.
That little thing right there, it's so insignificant.
Right.
Solves almost problem you have on bottom.
Right.
It's just a lot of little movements.
Yeah.
Is that you say little movement, it's so simple, people go, nah, show me the complicated stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't, but this is what's missing.
Yeah.
It's like footwork in boxing. I don't care how good your hands are. If your
Right.
feet are out of place,
And
you
that's
look
what
bad,
I was,
you know?
when I was watching Gustavo for the first time at Pans this year, like his ability to do these micro adjustments, and then he was so relaxed the whole time, and it was little bit. So, and there was no muscling because every time he moved,
You're saving energy.
you're right, you're saving energy.
It's but the thing is, again, we go back to the arm thing. We
Right.
go back to doing the lack of coordination.
Right.
Of using arms versus legs.
Yeah.
You know. So this right here, guys, is something I teach a lot. It's something I emphasize. My white belts are like rolling their eyes if they were here right now. But I make them, because I'm all about efficiency. I'm
Right.
not here to entertain you, like in the
Right.
sense where, oh, I want to bombard you with a bunch of cool stuff that you can't do.
Right.
Like, I don't see the point. Like, I call it the pyramid, right? You don't build a pyramid from the top down.
Right.
You start with a foundation. So I call them the common techniques, the common situations, which
Right.
are normally simple, but they're not necessarily easy. Simple and easy are very different things.
Right.
Because you say simple, they think a crappy iPhone.
Right.
You know, they think an iPhone 4. They're like, no, I want the new one. And I'm like, it's not how it works, guys. This is jiu-jitsu. It's not an iPhone. Like,
Right.
people think that way. It's like progression. New is better. They're like, so I don't even say old school. I don't even say basics. I say the statistically common moves. That's what I
Right.
call them. The stuff you're using all the time. The micro adjustments.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this right here, semi-live now, like 50%. Best way for you to understand what I'm talking about is you guys fight each other. If you're top 50%, if your bottom can go as fast as you want. The objective of the top person, grab the head, grab the underhook, flatten them out. Okay, the bottom person is going to be combing the hair the whole time. Lots of combing the hair. Avoid this right here.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of micro adjustments, micro shrimping. Okay, keep your arm closed. Don't flare that elbow. Don't give them the underhook. Okay, you want to try that really quick?
Yeah.
Anytime you guys in town, man. Like
Yeah.
you guys are family for life with me. Because I always appreciate the people that reach out to me and try to help me when they have nothing to gain from it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what true kindness is. We have nothing to gain. The second you have something to gain, I'm like, hold up here.
Amen.
And you guys reached out of nowhere and just like offered to help, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, dude, I don't take that for granted.
It's my pleasure.
So yeah, I sometimes I have to overemphasize sometimes like gratitude because like you don't always know if the other person knows it that you feel like. I just
Right.
want you to know that, even if I don't
appreciate
say
that
enough.
at
I appreciate you reaching out and. You know, especially because I know it's not a cheap procedure, and you're really hooking up. So
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, and you know, it just really is just amazing to see, you know, how many guys your stage in career are just at a point where things are just becoming so. Now, your mental toughness is enough to get you through the frickin' day, right? But man, what if you can even just feel 30% better, right? Like
I'll
that.
take 2%.
Right.
Man. Like it's
That's a game
honestly,
changer.
It's when I retired. My last fight was 2016, right? I was like, I knew I wasn't gonna fight again.
Right.
I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And then, but I made the mistake of going to take 6 months off because I've been on this treadmill training 6 days a week for 20 years straight.
Right.
6 days a week. I was in the gym once or twice a day.
Right.
You know, and that's, you know, it's not normal. Like, you know, your body's not meant to work. And I worked out like a maniac. So when I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to the gym to train. Like I'm going to the gym to kill or get killed.
Right.
It was like war. Every training session was the final of the world championship.
Right.
So what happened was when I retired, like I want to give myself a little break, and I never fully recovered from that because the injuries got worse. So
Right.
one thing I always tell people is you can slow down.
Yeah.
Don't stop, because I thought that taking a break would help heal injuries, and that was the dumbest idea ever.
Right.
They actually got worse.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm looking for like treatments now, because like now I've developed arthritis on my wrists. So I have like my hands have done very weak as
Right.
a result, because I can't really hand fight. And on both my knees, because my meniscus are gone.
Right.
I got like 20% of meniscus on my right side and none on the left.
Yeah.
So like going up a flight of stairs, like sometimes I need a rail.
Right.
You know, I'm 43. I shouldn't need a rail to go up, but like sometimes I do because my knees hurt too
Right.
much. Right? There's no cartilage. You know.
Yeah.
So little thing of this. So like I'm looking for like the what can I do? What can modern medicine offer me that can help me age in a healthier way? Because I knew it was going to happen, Kevin.
Yeah.
When I was doing what I was doing, I'm like, this is like a credit card.
Yeah.
You're having all this fun, but there's a cost. You're
There's
going to have to pay for this at some point.
That's exactly right.
You know, but like you're like, you know, I'm having too much fun with this. Like I'll deal with that. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, kind of thing. You know, it's somewhat irresponsible, perhaps, but you know, here we are. You know, I'm dealing with the consequences.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're just super excited to, you know, continue to see, you know, the change. You're literally just you're at a white belt, right? Like, just like you said earlier, like you just came in, you got your white belt. There's all this more to go. So I'm super excited for you. So let's just kind of maybe highlight some of the little changes you're noticing so far. So what are you noticing? So you did therapy about a month ago. We're right at about a month out since you got therapy. What are you kind of noticing so far?
I noticed like a general like looseness of the joints. Like you mentioned, like it takes months for you to feel like the whole potential.
Yeah.
So I feel like start initial, you know, my knees and wrists are like feeling a little looser.
Yep.
It's still not 100%. Like I still feel pain. Like I have no meniscus on my left.
Right.
I'm gonna feel that.
Yep.
But I think it's been like just like moving around has been a little bit easier.
Been a little easier.
I followed you guys' advice. I'm not going to war, but I'm trying to train every day. I'm just not going crazy hard.
Perfect.
Because, you know, I know that the stem cells will go wherever the new injuries are, right?
Also true.
So yeah, so I'm trying to like, I don't need to aggravate things.
Right.
I'm just gonna. So like it's been. I think that if I'm on the mats and I'm doing these treatments regularly, I should be good to go, and you know, like live and be healthy. You know, because the accumulation of a lot of little things.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it's kind of
like
like
an overall need of
and it's like remodeling a house, right? The more the house is broken down, the more it takes to get it going.
Yeah.
You know, again, you're just in the beginning phases. I think what we're gonna and what we consistently see month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5. We were with Professor Juliano Prado in California a couple months ago. He's like, man, that first 2 months I thought it was bullshit, and then all of a sudden I could do. So that's a pretty common experience, especially for the jiu-jitsu world. Now, what about going into the office? How simple and easy was therapy? Because a lot of people think it's going to be this big, huge, complicated thing.
You literally gave me an address, and I forgot her name now. Michelle.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Michelle, I wasn't sure. And then it was very simple. Like sit down, like a few questions. The procedure was there's no waiting.
Yeah.
It was in. There was a package there waiting for me. She had to like I think the stem cells were frozen.
Yeah,
so I had to hold it in my hand
reanimate
for like
the cells.
5 minutes to like melt the ice, you know, and then all right, here we go.
Yeah, and
intravenous, and I was in and out of there in like 30 minutes. No shenanigans. Nothing scary. Nothing, you know, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was just very, honestly, it was like easier than going to the dentist. It was easier than most hospital visits I've had. It was a very quick, easy experience.
Yeah, you heard that from Professor Drysdale. Easier than going to the dentist, getting stem cells with New Hope. Well, Professor, I'm super excited for you. Again, things are just going to keep, you know, it's that exponential increase. And certain tissues just take longer to heal too, right? So like when I grow a garden, I have the lettuce, I plant my seeds in April. By June, the lettuce, the strawberries, the cilantro are ready, but the pumpkins aren't ready until October.
Yeah.
Cartilage, ligaments, tendons are like the pumpkins. Muscle, bone, you know, GI tract, skin, that's all like the strawberries and the lettuce. That changes really quickly.
Yeah.
So, and then again, I'm excited for you. We just keep doing therapy every year. Where you're going to be at 2 or 3 years from now. We just Master Joe Morera, you know, he's like, man, I'm rolling 6 days a week and sometimes twice a day, and I'm rolling as much as I was 5 or 10 years ago.
Wow.
So that's what's coming for you. So
that's awesome. I hope that I could be as healthy as Master Joe Morera. I was talking to Carlos Gracie Jr. and he's I think 67.
Yeah.
And he says he trains like something like 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Like, if I could be 67 and train 3-4 times a week, I'll call that. Right now I'm at like 5, you know, but not crazy hard. But I just want to keep this pace. So like, you know, New Hope has been great. You guys have been awesome. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
I want to thank Yuri too for introducing me to you, because he's the one that made that connection.
Right.
Because I'm always complaining. It's like, Yuri's got, I got a guy for you. He'll take care of you.
Yeah, Yuri's heart for helping people is amazing. So awesome. Well, Professor, thank you. Thanks for rolling with Team New Hope today. For those of you guys that know, you know, we're not just doing stem cells. We love jiu-jitsu. We do jiu-jitsu ourselves, our nurses, our staff. So we're here to help you heal faster, fight harder, and compete for longer. If you enjoyed today's video with Professor Drysdale, there's plenty more on our YouTube channel. Click subscribe and follow us.
By getting therapy through New Hope, I was able to overcome a lot of that issues that I had with my back and my knees.
I won the Euros in January just because of the recovery that was provided by New Hope.
New Hope that changed my life with this therapy.
You're not your diagnosis.
Seeing New Hope.
What's the game change?